What's up, everyone? You're back with me, Ian Kane. A huge welcome to this week's first installment of DappRadar Meets. The date is Tuesday, June 14th. A huge hello to everyone out there, you wonderful listeners, and thanks for tuning in for another episode. It's great to be here with you guys, and I hope you're all having a pretty good week so far. We're only at the start, so it can only get better from here, guys. As always, we'll be recording the session for people to catch up later, and also to unpack all of the things that we talk about in these sessions, because they can get quite heavy sometimes. So they're all on YouTube. Just head over, search DappRadar. You'll find hundreds of educational and analytical videos to help you on your journey. So if you don't know already, I'm sure you do, DappRadar is the world's leader in Dapp analytics and discovery. We track thousands of dApps, which are decentralized applications, Web3 apps, across more than 45 blockchains, and our portfolio manager lets you manage your crypto and NFT assets all in one place. It's very cool. Perhaps at the moment you might not want to check your portfolio, but it's always good to check in, see what's up, see what's down, see what you did during the bull market. Maybe you got some decisions to make. So as a company, we've got some really ambitious plans for 2022 and beyond. So make sure you check out our community calls. We've got one next week and we'll be promoting that soon. So keep your eyes open for details on that. Just another thing that we did last week as well, we launched our Nft Collection Explorer. So you can explore NFT collections on Ethereum right now, with more chains coming soon. The cool thing is you can find and prepare for upcoming NFT drops and special edition mints as well. Sometimes there's certain requirements, so we'll spill all those out and let you know what you need to do. You can analyze the NFT market activity using industry standard metrics, and you can dive into individual NFT collections using the most accurate market data. So it's pretty cool. I'd definitely say go and check it out. To access the portfolio on DappRadar, just hit portfolio and put in your wallet address, and there you go. Everything's there. So let's jump off then, shall we? Today, I'm excited to welcome Keith. He's coming from Dustland, which is a move to earn project on Polygon. He's going to talk about their project. So let's do a quick sound check. Have we got you there, Keith?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Awesome. Sometimes we have problems with Discord, so I'd like to do a little check. Good to have you, Keith. Let's jump straight in, I reckon. So the main event this week, and as all the regular listeners know, we sit down with the brightest minds, blockchains, dApps, NFT collections, and we dig in and we see what they are all about. Really importantly, I like to put human faces onto these projects so that you guys can understand better who's behind them. Also, we give you the opportunity to ask all your questions. That's what you guys are doing here. So if you've got any questions for Keith today, anything about Dustland, put your hand up and I'll put you on stage and you can ask your question. Alternatively, fire your question into our Discord messages and we'll read that out for you. So yeah, just stick up your hand. But always remember, keep your ears open, listen for the other questions. No such thing as a stupid question, except if it's asked 5 times. Okay, Keith, I've warmed everyone up for you, man. Let's jump straight into what I call the elevator pitch, shall we? I want you to pretend that you're stuck in an elevator with me for 1 minute, and I've got a t-shirt on that says I'm an investor, and I'm ready to hear your ideas, all right? So we're stuck. Let's go. You've got about a minute. Give me the top line on Dustland.
Oh, well, before I start, I gotta say this already starting really well because you have a super cool radio voice. It makes this like super interesting. But yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, my name is Keith, CEO of Dustland and Dose Token. Our mission is to empower 1 billion people to become more active, and in doing so, earning their first NFT and crypto through our games. We have a couple games. We have Dustland Runner, which is a move to earn game where you listen to an audio story, and as you run, you earn NFTs and tokens. And we also have Dustland Rider, which is a bike to earn game. You're cycling indoors and you get to traverse through our apocalyptic world to earn some NFTs and tokens as well.
Okay. Nice, man. You nailed that, Keith. You've been practicing, right? And the little compliment at the start didn't hurt you either. So I'm definitely interested. Let's keep rolling. Okay, so you've got Dustland Runner and Dustland Rider. And you started by saying that you hope to onboard 1 billion people into Move to Earn. That's quite a lot of people, man. So let's talk about how we're going to get there, right? But first, let's start with you, Keith. I want to know about you and how you ended up in this crazy ass blockchain Web3 world. Is it your background or have you come from somewhere else crazy? Tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, no, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. And we started off, actually, my first startup was called Coachbase, which was the number one sports app on iOS and Android. We're the first like 30 apps on the App Store in the sports category. We
Right.
ended up being invested by Nike and Animoca Brands, and eventually we got acquired by Animoca Brands 4 years ago. And then we started OliveX, which is the company we're doing right now with Dose and Dustland,
Mhm.
gamifying fitness. And if you remember, Pokemon Go was really hit back then, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we came up with a game called Garfield Fit. So you're running with Garfield, the cat. And then, 3 years ago, we launched another game called Squat for Crypto, which was the number two app on
I
Product
like
Hunt.
that.
Yeah. But that was a little bit too early. And
Yeah.
then, we've been doing gamifying fitness for a long time. So right now, the timing is just perfect.
What do you think? I mean, I'm with you, Keith. Like I saw in 2017, 18, a couple of move to earn projects coming around, and I at that point thought, whoa, this is cool. This makes a lot of sense to me. And I think people were looking for utility back then, but perhaps investors and DApp use, well, there wasn't many DApps to use, let's be real. So I think it was a different scenario. But what do you think about we've obviously seen the trend kind of explode more recently. What do you think is the kind of driver behind this, Keith? Like, is it just people want to get fit? Like, people have always wanted to get fit, right?
Yeah, I think two factors. Number one, I want to talk about why move to earn is super exciting, right? Because the evolution of like thematics in blockchain, you went from everyone's doing a chain to DeFi to last year was GameFi,
Yeah.
and the GameFi was the promise of bringing billions of people on board, right?
Yeah.
But that's actually harder than people thought it'd be because there's no game that suits everyone. You might like Counter Strike and I might like Dota. Now everyone has a different game they like to play, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
move to earn is exciting because if you ask anyone here, do they want to get fitter? Everyone is gonna say they're gonna want to be fitter. And can you go outside for a run or a walk? I think most people will say yes. So, you know, the point that everyone's been trying to say is like, how do you bring on the next billion people onto crypto? And I think, with Move to Earn, you can get my mom, my sister, whatever, to actually do this, right? Because that's how we're going to born. And then the second point is, I think the biggest challenge we had before was crypto didn't hit mass adoption yet, right? And
Yeah.
actually, mass adoption is easier than you think. You only takes a study found that it takes 3.5% of the population to adopt something to go mainstream. I think 2017, 18, it was like 1% or less,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
now everyone understands it, and
Yeah.
that's why it's taken off.
Got it, man. That's a really good point that you make at the beginning there as well. Like, just from a really simple level, like if you say to me, "Do you want to play this game?" and instantly I'm going to think, "Well, I don't really like card games, so I'm out." As a user, I've basically just completely taken myself out of the equation. If you ask me, "Do I want to get fit?" Yeah, of course I do. And if you ask me, "Can I make money at the same time as that?" Yeah, of course I do. So it makes a lot of sense, right? It's a good answer, man. Definitely. All right, cool. I want to talk about the last couple of months for you guys because you guys have been plodding away for quite some time. But Dustland as a Dapp, I think I first spotted it in January, February. I saw some peaking metrics on DappRadar, and I think I wrote about you guys. So tell us a bit about the last, well, 2022, Keith, to be honest, like the ups and downs. How's it been going? Any big fails or wins you want to talk about, or any massive challenges that you had to jump over?
Yeah, definitely. A lot has happened. I think I've aged 10 years, and being in the blockchain world is like it's 24/7, right? I
Yep.
think we only launched the token in November, and it's only 6 months, 7 months, and since
So,
then we've done a lot, right? And I think the difference between us is that, like I said, I've been in the apps business for over 10 years, right? We know how to execute on products. So we launched our iOS app and Android app for Dustland Runner. We introduced staking. We sold out. We actually had two NFT launches. The first one was a free airdrop, which became like a number one ranked on DappRadar, and then we followed that with another NFT that we sold out $500,000. Everyone that minted, the floor price is two times the mint price, so everyone's happy. And
nice, yeah.
then next week we're actually selling another NFT, which is a fitness NFT inside the sandbox. So, we're executing. We're working on it.
Yeah, man. Well, you guys are delivering, and I think that's important, right? And as you rightly said, you've got a history here. You're not some startup from yesterday who decided to jump onto a bandwagon. You've been in this for quite some time. All right, cool, man. So the Dapp, it runs on Polygon, Matic, as it was formerly known, the Polygon chain. Can you tell us a bit about that choice? And well, firstly, tell us about why you choose Poly and why you think it's a good choice for your sort of Dapp.
Yeah, look, I think first of all, we want to onboard 1 billion people, right? And you're not going to be able to do that when the gas fees are like
Yeah.
super exorbitantly expensive, right? So we needed something. And we went around and talked to everybody, and then Polygon invested in us, and uh, they seem to have a lot of traction, especially in the gaming sector as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Animoca projects use them as well, and so that's why we went with Polygon,
Nice.
just because it's based on ETH and our developers understand it, and so we chose them. And also, like recently, if you check out the Polygon Twitter Spaces and everything, they've been promoting us as well, so we're very appreciative.
Yeah, no, it sounds like an organic fit, really. Like it just fit there, and that makes sense. And yeah, Polygon for me also it's gone heavy on gaming, great for transaction costs, which is obviously important for you guys as well. Any plans to extend to other chains, other networks, or even, we've seen some dApps recently setting up subnets and everybody's starting their own blockchain. Is that something that you guys are thinking about, or are you quite happy on Polygon there?
Yeah, well, actually, look, the way we think about it is it ties into two things that set us apart. We believe in people are fitness omnivores. What the hell does that mean, right? So you don't just do one sport. If you run, you probably go swim. If you bike, you might do yoga. So people do multiple sports, right? And so we don't believe in only having one game. We believe that in the future of those, there will be many, many different games to suit all types of people, right? So, and that leads to my second point is that we also don't believe in a one chain future, right?
Yeah.
So that's why Polygon is a starting point because it's easy and Ethereum is compatible. But we also took investment from Solana, and we think Solana is also very strong. So we just want to make it as easy as possible for my mom and my sister, who doesn't really care what chain they're on, to have all the options available to them.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and I'm with you 150%. I think if we're going to get there to where we want to be, then people like us need to understand that the normal people out there don't care about the blockchain that it runs on and things like this. They just want it to work. And I think that's really important. Cool, man. Okay, so no plans for expansion onto your own chain, but go as you see fit. Sounds good. So let's jump into what Dustland actually is. Like I just watched the cinematic trailer before we got into the session, and it was really cool, man. Like I was really taken by that. So can you just, for anybody out there who doesn't know what Dustland is, what you're supposed to do, give us that little brief intro so we can understand what it's all about, and then we'll get deeper.
Yeah. So look, it's actually we have another game called Zombies Run, which is the #1 audio running game on the market, and Dustland is similar to that game. It's an audio running game. What does that mean? There's a lot of running apps out there. So what you do is you take out your app, you put on your headphones, and you press start, and then you can put away your phone. You don't need to look at the screen. And then there's a story that unveils. So in Dustland, it's like post climate change. It's very dangerous, and your mission is to deliver packages from one place to another. But there's lots of pirates, lots of like cybernetic dogs, all sorts of stuff chasing you, right? So you start running, right? So it's like, Ian, like there's this package. We need you to save the world. Go to this place. So you start running. And then maybe like 30 seconds later, oh no, there's some pirates who want to steal your package. Run faster. And you hear this audio, right? And then if you run slow, the sound of the pirates is going to get louder and louder, and then you get caught, right? So you want to run as fast as you can, run away from them, and then the whole world of story unlocks. And I think that's really important on two levels. Number one, the Dustland Runner is fun is because if you think back to your favorite games, they're usually games that have a story behind them. They're not just like a casual game you just tap on the screen.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So Dustland is super deep. Like Zelda has a story, like we want to have that deep storyline, part one. And part two is that a lot of running games actually like they reward you after you run, but while you're running is not fun, right? Afterwards, they give you a badge, they give you, no, the running experience is fun itself because you're interacting with the audio story, right?
That's cool, man. That's like almost. I'm thinking about, like I'm reading a really engaging book, and I'm actually imagining myself like in the scene of the book. It kind of feels like that a little bit, like the narrative that you're describing. And I think that is a really good point. That, like you said, when you run and then you get rewarded afterwards, the running bit is pretty dull. And like most people don't like going to the gym. Let's be real, like it's pretty boring, isn't it? So that's a good point, man. So you're basically like an Amazon delivery driver in a post-apocalyptic world being set new challenges by the game. All right, cool. Sounds pretty fun, man. Okay, so that's how it kind of works. So what are the latest updates regarding Dustland and the Doge token as well? Because it's a move to earn project, so it has tokenomics. So let's start with latest updates on Dustland and then talk about the token as well.
Yeah, look, I think Dustland. Right now, we're moving from alpha to beta, and the first thing that I want to talk about is you take the two hottest topics, right? So right now, move to earn is super hot,
Yep.
and then ApeCoin created a lot of noise, and we collaborated with them where you can get an ape pass to unlock a story that is based on an ape, and when you're running to unlock the story, you'll also earn ape coins while running, right? And so so you actually start to earn within our app. So that's part one, and then part two is like, what is the use case for Dose, right? I mentioned that we believe that we're not just going to have one game and one token. I think within Dose is an ecosystem of multiple fitness games. So right now you have Runner where you can use it, but we have our cycling game coming up, and also we have a sandbox fitness experience that will also take those tokens. So it's all coming together.
Nice, man. And what kind of so with the dose token, so am I right in presuming that this is a utility token for the Dapp and that it's required for, you need to do certain transactions and things inside the application, or is that wrong? Is that how it works?
Yeah, so let me explain a little bit. So great question. So first of all, DOSE stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, all the chemicals you get when you exercise. But it's a utility token inside the game, and I want to quickly dive into like kind of the game loop. You basically, there are going to be slots where you have to equip yourself with obviously shoes. Everyone's got shoes now, and other sorts of equipment. And you basically, if you want to go on a harder mission, you'll need to spend those to upgrade your NFTs and to buy some other NFTs, and that's the utility of those.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you have to tap it. So you need more things in order to up your level within the game. And you can also cash out those, am I right, if you want to? And again, I think it's quite important here. We're not talking about going for a run and making $1 million. Like, I think it's important to outline that pretty early doors, right, Keith? You're not getting paid
Yeah, no, so
quid per run.
yeah, look, I think if you check out my Twitter, we call ourselves Move and Earn and not Move to Earn.
Yes.
What does that mean, right? So basically, we think fun is number one, and then earning is kind of a cherry on top. And I think we've proven that with our existing game engine, which is Zombies Run. Which Zombies Run is non-crypto related, and we have 50,000 subscribers. So it's so fun that people pay money to play.
Yeah.
And now in Dustland, you get to play for free,
Yeah.
and you get to earn. So I don't see why not.
It's pretty cool, man. It definitely makes sense. How do you see it in the future? Because I always thought with some of these sort of move to earn dApps that the hook for it would be, imagine you go for a couple of runs and you build up a bunch of rewards there. I'd kind of like to swap those rewards for maybe some real world stuff, like a new Nike top or maybe some new shoes, or, do you see some future like that for Move to Earn where it's an exchangeable commodity where I can take my rewards and actually get sporting goods with them?
Oh man, you open a whole can of things that
your developers are listening now, like, oh shit.
yeah. So we're big believers in interoperability. And what the hell does that mean, right? So look, like I said, there's going to be multiple fitness games, and we want the NFTs and tokens to be utilized across all of them. So on a virtual level, after you run and play Dustland Runner, you earn some NFTs and you have the dose. let's say you bought a bike and you want to try biking as well. You can take your NFTs and use it in our Dustland rider, and use the Dose token in there too. And we'll have more games coming up too that you can utilize in. And on top of that, in our sandbox experience, we partnered with already 7 different fitness brands. So we have the first one is Gym Aesthetics, which is a clothing brand. So obviously you can use those to redeem their clothing, right? And it's and we also have the third largest bike manufacturer, Stages, and you can redeem a bike. We have all Les Mills. We have Salsation. You can redeem group fitness classes. I mean, like, that's our vision, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's where you think it, because I see that's really cool. Like, it's one thing getting a reward, but yeah, I think it's a good future for the movement, really, like tapping into that side of things and that marketing as well. Obviously, you've got how do you feel about that kind of stuff? Like working with brands, actually working with sports brands to leverage more users and things like that. Like you said that, yeah, like how do you feel about working with big brands? And is it something that you think Dustland will get into in the future?
Yeah, so I think, look, I said we're going to get to 1 billion people, but if I only target the crypto native crowd, it's not going to be 1 billion people.
No.
So to do that, I need to work with these fitness brands who have hundreds of millions of users that may not be in crypto, and then through their partnership, bring them on board, right? And so we're going to actively continue to pursue more partnership with different brands, and they love it, right? They're all looking into this.
Yeah. Well, it makes a lot of sense, I think, in terms of that's how I kind of see this as a bigger play, as a marketing play. Like it's it's going to evolve quite interestingly. But you mentioned at the beginning as well, you guys did a free airdrop at the beginning. And am I right in thinking there's another airdrop or a mint? You did the mint recently. Can you share a bit about that? What was the free airdrop all about?
Yeah, so I think the way we think about it is that I wrote a Medium article about our principles, right? I think our principles of our company is kind of, we believe in rewarding our early users, number one. And number two, we want actual players to buy our NFTs. We don't want flippers to just come in and make a buck, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we do that? Well, first of all, the people that played our game got a free airdrop in the form of like a piece of like a poster called the Kettle Mine, our first location in Dustland. And so everyone got one, right? We gave away 500,000 of those. And then the second drop, which is our recent 8 pass, we purposely designed a way such that either you had to burn your Kettle Mine posters to get on the allow list, or you have to play the game 3 times. And playing 3 times when you have to play 60 minutes, right? Yeah. And so in the end, we had like 10,000 people play the game. And after they played the game and bought the NFT, even though the floor price went really high, only 4% of people listed it because they all in the Discord are saying, well, I want to play the game. I don't want to sell it. I'm not here to just make a quick buck.
That's pretty nice, because I think that's one of the fundamental flaws of these projects most of the time, is that you've got flippers and quick profit hunters in there looking to just cash in and out, and it basically destroys the tokenomic model of the whole thing. So I think it's going to be careful times for the next few months, but interesting that only 4% actually sold out. So they believe in the project. I guess it's how you hype it up as well, and how it's described. And in terms of the NFTs in the projects as well, so we've got the 2 that you just mentioned. Is there more coming? Like, how do you see what would they be, and how do you see the future of NFTs in Dustland?
Yeah, so just to drop a little bit of alpha here, there are 2 more things that we're gonna drop. One of them is the community has been asking for 2 things. Number one is a shoe. And I think running in shoes is synonymous. You can't really avoid that. So we're definitely going to drop some shoes. And then secondly, we're going to drop some PFPs, because like, look, at Dustland is a very deep story. And imagine, if the world did, run out of water and all that stuff, people are going to clump together and form different clans. So in our story, some people are more scientific. They believe science is going to save the world, but some people become more religious. They're going to pray to God. Some people is going to say, screw it all, I'm just going to pillage and steal everything I can. And so depending on the faction you belong, you can buy a PFP that will give you different kind of boosts to indicate what kind of belief system you have.
So they're like clans, right? Like you're going to get like clans forming of the God clan and the kind of science clan, and then these gangs will start forming. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, at the beginning of that sentence, you said, imagine if, like, I'm a believer that it's not really a case of imagination. Like, you guys are basically outlining the future of the world with these games, I think. But okay, cool, man. So, I mean, there's a lot of move to earn projects popping up, and we have seen them in the past as well. Can you tell us? Why do you think Dustland stands? I mean, we've spoken about a couple of the aspects, but let's go again. Like, what's the major differences here between Dustland and other move to earn projects?
That is a great question. And I think you just look at the Web 2 world. If you just look at Web 2, there are thousands of running apps. And actually within running itself, there are many subsegments. So first of all, you have the Stravas, right? If you are an elite athlete, the 1%, you want to show off, get Strava. You know, you're going to show off your speed and then you have like the middle of the pack of people who kind of run regularly. You got the Nike, you got the Runtastic, you got all those. And then you have, which is Zombies Run, a group of people who are not, like super, fit, but they still want to go on a fun run, which is like the 95% of the population.
Yeah.
Like the audio story. And if we can succeed in the Web 2 world, I think Web 3 is going to play out the same way, right? You're going to have the Strava of Web 3, and then you also have the audio run of Web 3. And so that's how we're different.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. I mean, we're talking about an audio story here. So how is that kind of put together, Keith? Is it crafted by an in-house team, or is it like music? Tell me a bit about, like, what would I be hearing while I'm running?
Yeah, so that is a great question, and that's the unique kind of advantage that we have. It's actually not easy to create a compelling story.
No.
Actually, our previous writer for Zombies Run, she wrote a book on top of writing Zombies Run. That became an Amazon TV series, right? She's an award-winning writer. And so for Dustland, we also have an award Hugo-nominated writer, and you need actors to act it out. And so it's serious business, but if you do get it right, everyone loves the story. And it's like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. People stay on for a very long time. They play the game for 4 or 5 years, and that relates well to NFTs. The way I see it is that, if you're like a casual arcade game, NFTs don't really tie in because NFTs you own forever, right? So
Yeah.
you want something that's deep that you can play for years.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I just want to come back to that narrative point. Like, it's just kind of sitting in my brain now as a very high motivating factor. Like, especially for those people who are kind of sitting on the fence, right? If you can tell them that, hey, you can do all this stuff that you really want to do, but we can make it a little bit more interesting. Even even having a narrative for your running would be enough for me, Keith. Like, I don't need the tokens, man. Like, I quite like the idea of the narrative. It's interesting that you've got like award-winning story writers, and it also shows something I feel about your project in that it's here to stay. You don't invest this sort of level of detail in a fly-by-night kind of project. So I think that says quite a lot about you as well. How much? Let's get into the money, Keith. Like we said, we're not earning $1 million for going on a jog, but how much can players earn like with these missions? So say I take up a mission a day in Dustland. What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Yeah, so it goes back to our principle of rewarding early users. I think one of the way we're gonna control the tokenomics is that instead of having a fixed price of like each run you're gonna get X amount of dollars, that's a problem because when let's say there's a lot of bots up here all of a sudden overnight, like 10 million bots, and then we can't then it's hard to stop, right? So we're actually gonna do it by having these pools. So right now is a great time because right now we only have like 10,000 daily active users, but if you come in, the pool it's a sizable amount for the early players. So you come in, you're gonna earn a decent amount of the pools that we set aside.
Yeah, the earlier you get in, the more there is to make. As you onboard more and more users, the rewards will become lesser and lesser. So that's the general rules of these kind of things anyway. And what are you doing about the about the robots? We've seen a lot of dApps that suffer from this, where it's quite easy to kind of just set up a bot to repeat repetitive action. So what have you guys done? Like, have you got some processes in place? Are you constantly battling? How's it going with that?
Yeah, look, any game that, especially games that rewards you monetarily,
Yeah.
it's gonna have cheating, right? I mean, like Counter-Strike, you can have like a aimbot. You play Puzzle and Dragon, some will automatically spin for you, right? So it's a never-ending battle. But I think the advantage is that we've been doing this for 10 years. We have so much data of people running, and I failed to mention this, but we actually did a lot of stuff with AI. We used AI to track your body motion using the camera, and so we have an AI background, so we can apply those things to kind of stop cheating. And we learned a lot actually at the Nike accelerator, where I don't know if you remember it, but they had a fuel ban, and they found a lot of interesting data where people like put the fuel ban on like washing machines and put it on a dog, and yeah, and so yeah, you can actually sort those out because in the washing machine it's kind of rhythmic, and then the
Oh,
dog is
of
like moving
course.
too fast. Yeah.
How do you stop that kind of stuff, Keith? Like, I remember a few years ago, I was in the same office as another Move to Earn project, and they had a problem where basically they were rewarding people for going a distance. But what had happened was people were just getting on the bus, going around in circles, and it was clocking up kilometers on the. It's a question like, how do you combat that? And then also the second question I have, and sorry for being stupid, is which part of the device is actually registering your steps or your running? Like, can you tell me a bit about how that works? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So, and by the way, there are no stupid questions. You said it yourself, and those are great questions. Look, I think people underestimate how many things your phone tracks, right? So you've got the GPS, you've got the gyro, you've got the pedometer, and you've got the camera, you've got the light sensor, you've got a lot of things on your phone. And basically, there's a lot, like 90% of the stuff you can eliminate, right? Basically, you can tell if someone's driving, the speed is just ridiculous, right? And
Yeah.
you can't really slow down unless you find a quiet street and go at a normal pace, right? And so there's a million ways. I don't want to reveal too much, but it's actually quite easy to eliminate majority of the cases.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I just remember it happened a while ago, and obviously people always try to game things, right? It's just inherent with this sort of tech that people are trying to trick it as well. But I've always been quite interested in how it monitors. But yeah, I think you're right. People underestimate what exactly they are carrying in their pocket. It's not really just a phone, is it? There's a whole lot more there. So Dustland as well. I was just browsing around the site, and I saw that it's available in English language. And we've seen that with a lot of the play to earn, move to earn stuff, it's become pretty big in countries like Vietnam, which does have a heavy population of English speakers, hence why Axie became so big. But what are your strategies to kind of attract non-English speaking audiences? How are you going about business in that regard?
Yeah, no, look, guys, we've been publishing games for over 10 years, and we've accumulated over 8 million downloads across our different fitness products. And so the low hanging fruit is just simply to localize and have our audio translated to Japanese, Turkish, Korean, whatever it is, and just roll that out. And that's actually just really simple, right?
Yeah, nice, got it. But it makes a huge difference, I think, if people, especially in the East as well, I find that like you need to localize, otherwise you're basically just banging your head against a wall, right? So, okay, cool. So plans to localize into local language. One thing I just wanted to say, and you mentioned it, I did not know you could have an aimbot in Counter-Strike. That's just explained quite a lot for me there. And then the other thing that you said that I want to dig into a little bit, Keith, is about the data on users. So how do you see, obviously you're collecting data on people's exercise habits here and their movements and things like that. Do the users control their data? How do you see this in the future? What's the process here? Or are you guys collecting this? How does that work?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of people that have tried to monetize fitness data. And I was, oh, fitness data is so important. If I can know where your run is, I can like sell you a shoe. And no, I don't think anyone's really succeeded there. And so,
No.
to be honest, we don't really track our users' distance and location. And actually, what we found interesting is that when people share, like, so first rule of running is that after you run, you have to share your run, right? Otherwise, it didn't happen.
Otherwise, no
People
one can quantify that you actually did something healthy, right? Yeah, cool, got that.
Yes. And so what we realize is actually people don't like to show the map. They don't want to show people where they run, but they only want to show the shape of their route, right? So if people don't want to share, we don't actually take that data because we have no use for it, right? So at this very moment, we're not actually recording your data. But further down the line, I think there is a fundamental principle of blockchain is that returning value to the value creators, right? So, eventually we're going to find a way to reward you if we actually record that data.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if the user allows you to record, then there's a two-way process there. Cool. Okay. Interesting though that people don't want to, I suppose it makes sense. They don't want to share where they are, but they don't mind sharing. And interesting that you say that. I didn't think of that before. Like if you go for a run, then you have to share it. I'm not a runner, so I don't think like that. But I guess, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the way things work nowadays. All right, cool. So obviously, right now, market conditions not great for any of us, Keith. But we are super positive over here at DappRadar because we believe this is a time for builders, and strong companies are born in bear markets. So, how does the recent market conditions affect what you guys are doing over there at Dustland? Has it affected your strategy? Do you think it'll affect your progress? Like, how are you going to react to this?
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate. We built we raised a lot of funding, so we have a lot of runway for the next couple of years, right? So we're actually in a position of strength, and that's great because we were around when 2017 and 2018 happened when ETH was below like $200, right?
Yeah.
And that's when what we observed, we learned from Animoca was that's when they invested in OpenSea and Axie Infinity, right? And now the portfolio is worth $1.5 billion. So I think now is a time to actually invest. You don't make money in a bull, right? You make money when it's bear and then you wait for it to come back up, right? And so this is actually good for us. Not only are we going to continue executing, but we've had a history of actually acquiring other games as well and also investing in other games. And so we're going to double down on that, right? So Dose is not just going to have Dustland, Rider, and Runner, but also expect to see other games to be in the Dose ecosystem.
Nice. So you kind of branching out to becoming a bit of a game publisher here then as well, right? Are these projects, do you think you'll like how to say it? Do you think you'll kickstart other gaming projects or do you think you'll take them in-house? How will that work? And like how can people get involved with you guys if they've got an idea as well?
Yeah, we do a full spectrum of stuff, right? So Zombie Run we fully acquired, right? So like we can acquire a company that has a great game concept and then just wrap them into Dose, right? So easy. But we also have other projects where we invest in when we help them, right? So there's another move to earn project called DeFi Disrupt, which is an AR location-based game similar to Pokemon Go, but with a Matrix theme. And we help them, right? And we believe, there's going to be we want to be friends with all the move to earn projects, right? And so the easiest way is just reach out to me on Twitter or email, and we can discuss what do you want and how we can help.
Nice. And would that be the same kind of process for people who perhaps really into Dustland? Like a lot of the dApps, they have ambassadors or kind of, TG mods or just people who want to get involved with brands because they really like it. Is there a way to get involved with Dustland from that perspective, from like a casual moderator, anything like that? Ambassadors?
Oh yeah, we love it. So for Zombies Run, actually 30% of the staff are fans turned into full-time employees. And we love that, right? And same with Dustland. We've hired a lot of people in our community that's really active, and we engage them to be mods. And so if you're a fan, we love you even more. Just reach out to our moderators, and we'll find something to collaborate on.
Nice, man. Nice. So besides Dustland, what else are you guys building over there then for this year? And tell us a bit about 2022. Like we're halfway through. What should fans and kind of onlookers be expecting from you guys for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we have a lot of things that will come out. So Dustland Runner is going to continue to improve and have more and more content and more features that are kind of come in to allow you to earn more. We're going to also have the Rider, which is the bike experience, which is going to come very soon. And we also have our sandbox experience that's coming. And then you might expect, in addition to riding and running, there might be one or two more games related to fitness. Don't reveal too much, but that's kind of a lot already, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, something that appeals to me, I'm not like a traditional sports guy. Like, I've not really been a big team player. I was a skateboarder, like a snowboarder, those kind of things. So I'm wondering, is there any ideas around that? I guess you could call them individual things. Yeah, anything around that? Or maybe I'm just misunderstanding and I can qualify if I go skateboarding, I'm still racking up some points. How does that work?
Yeah, look, I think I want to talk about the broader kind of where we stand,
Yeah.
and where does move to earn stand. I think you've seen so right now we're at the stage where fitness as a game has really taken off. So Pokemon Go is really fun and everyone's playing $5.5 billion. Swift, the cycling game, doing well. And then there's Ring Fit. I don't know if you played Ring Fit. It's a Pilates ring, and then you kind of successful is because anyone can play it, right? My mother, my sister, single player, and we like that because we get the same feedback from Zombies Run. 95% of people want to feel inclusive. They don't want to go on the running apps because everyone is so fit. It's the same feeling as when you go to a gym and everyone's really like strong and buff. You feel like, oh no, I don't belong. So basically what we're trying to say is we want to create games that are inclusive. And anyone at any fitness level can come in and still feel welcomed, right? You don't need to have six packs to play a game.
Yeah, I think it's such a good point, man. Like, people who are at the beginning of their fitness journey, especially, the gym is a quite an intimidating place. I've always found it. I don't enjoy it for the reasons that you just said. So, do you see? I mean, what's the bigger play here? Like, do you think you'll have like thousands of people in a Dustland metaverse type setup using their PFP avatars doing exercise? Do you think that's something we might see? Obviously not next week, but in the longer term.
Look, I think if you see our website, it says we're building a fitness metaverse, and the way we see it is that there will be multiple fitness games. We have running, we have cycling, but there's other verticals, right? There's rowing, there's boxing, there's AR, there's VR. What if there's fitness games for all those verticals, and they're all interlinked? Your NFTs can be used. I cycle for 10 kilometers, and I could take that NFT in my running game, in my rowing game, in my boxing game, and all connected by dose. And so that's a vision we're trying to build, and we kind of stole this playbook from our largest shareholder, Animoca Brands, where if you know about Animoca Brands, they've made like 300 investments, and they're friends with everybody, right? So that's kind of what we want to be.
Okay, cool. All right, Keith. I think we got a really, really good top line vision of what Dustland is, what it hopes to be. And I think one of the most important things to kind of outline is how people can jump in and get involved. I like to do that at the end as well. So one of the questions I have is what's the kind of cost of entry? Like, if I today wanted to go and have a go with Dustland, what kind of investment am I looking at? Or is it free entirely?
Yeah, and that is you ask great questions, Ian. And I think, look, we started the conversation saying that we want to onboard 1 billion people. I don't think we can onboard 1 billion people. We require you to spend $1,000 to buy an NFT to jump into our game. So it's a free-to-play experience. All our games will have a free-to-play loop where you can come in and you can still earn some NFTs. And just participate and play the fun game, right? Now, there will be incentives for you to, after a while, you build a habit, you really like the game, then you'll want to buy the NFT to kind of increase your earnings, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's kind of the way it's going to go. Like, I find that with mobile apps, like the clever ones basically condition you to not be able to live without it and then drag you further in, which to me psychologically makes a lot of sense, right? And what about the idea of these kind of renting systems and guilds that we've seen popping up? And correct me if I'm wrong, Dustland doesn't have an internal marketplace for NFTs. How will these kind of things play out in the future, do you think, for Dustland?
Yeah, look, we will have an internal marketplace and wallet integration and all those great things. Basically, you come in. like I said, imagine my mom using it, right? She'll just sign up, come in, the wallet's there, the marketplace is there. You just tap one button and you can get going, right? That's going to come. But my view on guilds is that we're still unsure on how to work with guilds because I don't really know if they actually bring as much value as we want. We just want real players, right? We don't want people to just like milk the ecosystem and then leave. So right now we're just really focused on organic real players and not guilds at the moment. But lending will come. But I think the purpose of guilds is that the origin of guilds is that the NFTs were super expensive, so we couldn't afford it. And so now you need. So if we have a free to play mode, then why do we need guilds? So
it's a very good answer, Keith, I think. And actually something occurred to me there that you said when you set up guilds, you invite those bigger players in who then want to just use the platform to rent and make money. So yeah, I can see that now. There's kind of two sides to it always, isn't there? So quite important to do that carefully, I would say. And you guys are quite privileged, I think. Well, not privileged. Right now in the move to earn scenario, like there's a lot happening out there, so there's a lot to take on board and a lot to learn from, I would say, as well, isn't there? Like you can look at past mistakes and things like that. How do you guys? Okay, so we're talking about this number of 1 billion users. Like I think you can do it. I'm positive. But how are you onboarding users into Dustland via Poly? Is it sorry, I keep calling it Poly and nobody knows what I'm talking about. Polygon. The wallet sign-up process. How are you managing this? Are you hiding all of that in the background? How do people onboard into Dustland?
Yeah, so look, again, I'm dropping some alpha here, but we're gonna have a wallet, and I think you always have to take a balance, right? So the safer it is, the more friction is gonna be, right?
Yes.
And I think because if we want to reach 1 billion people, we have to make it frictionless. And so, again, my target is always my mom. And if I want my mom to come in, all she has to do is sign up, download the app, put in her email or her telephone number, and then put in a password, and then immediately a wallet is already set up within the app. And I think our wallet is going to skip the seed phrase, and all that mumbo jumbo, and automatically give her a wallet. Now, it's not the most secure thing in the world. So we're going to make sure we educate the users. Hey, you don't want to put your life savings into this wallet, but just to get you started, I think that would be a good start.
That's very cool though, because it's almost again like that conditioning. Here's a wallet, get to grips with it. When you're ready, go further with it. I like that. Like you say, you can educate people along their journey from the very beginning, because like you say, your mom isn't going to know what a blockchain wallet is, and she's probably going to stop listening when you start explaining what MetaMask is. So you're going to have to do that slowly and carefully, right? So nice. It sounds like a good idea, man. I mean, I'm curious as to how do you go about your community building and marketing of it with a project like this? Like, who are you? You do have to step outside the cryptoverse here. There's no need to stay inside. So how do you go about that? Like, how do you reach out, and who's your target? Is it just everybody? Anyone who wants to get fit?
That is another great question. So 2 parts: how do we get to people, and who are our target demographic, right? So I think first of all, a lot of projects they want to reach out to existing crypto users, and I mentioned that there's a small audience there. We need to get bigger, and so that's why the way we're doing it is partnering with existing fitness brands and getting to their users, right? So people go to Consensus and NFT NYC and market there. No, we're not going there. We're going to actually all the fitness expos, right? The FIBOs, and like people are not talking crypto there, right? We're gonna go there and tell them like, hey, you should join this ecosystem, right? So that's part one of how we're reaching those audiences. And then the second thing is, who is our target demographic? It's the people that enjoy Ring Fit. It's the people that enjoy Pokemon Go, and it's actually people who want to start their fitness journey, and I think everybody wants to, but just lack the motivation and habit, right? And now there's a reason. It's when you go on a run, you can save the world. That's pretty cool. So it's those people, and what we learned from Zombies Run is actually there's a ton of those people. Ring Fit sold 10 million copies, And another thing I want to share is that Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft is a game developer. They did AAA games like Assassin's Creed and these titles that are super. But little do people know, their third highest income title is a game called Just Dance.
Is it? Is that their biggest title? Is that the?
Yeah. Third biggest title. It's made like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So people always think, oh, I need a hardcore AAA game where I kill 1 million people and there's like amazing graphics. No, people just want to stand in front of the screen and just like dance to a Justin Bieber song. Like there's a ton of people who want that, and that's kind of our jam. That's the people we want.
Arguably, Keith, more people want to stand in front of their telly and dance than want to kill millions of orcs or whatever, I would say, actually.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I would say. And it's about onboarding again, isn't it? It's like, this is easy, this is fun. This is another thing, I guess, is this is with other players as well. I like a lot of the Nintendo stuff I really like because it's very multiplayer and you don't really care about the graphics. You're just trying to have some fun, right? Like it's one thing that's just come to me though, Keith, and I'm going to ask you the question and you don't have to give me a solid answer. So I'm thinking about the idea that you've got these narratives behind your running exercises, and it appears to me that this could open up a whole new avenue. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking about. Stranger Things, don't know if you watched it. Max's run to reality. Perhaps in the future, things like this could become, I don't know, upgradable content on Dustland. Like, what do you think about that? Like bringing in like real world stuff and then sharing that as like an Instagram story or something. I know I've taken it really far, but what do you think?
I mean, like imagine I can sign the Stranger Things IP and have a running story around that.
Almost, yeah. Or like taking little specific parts of a movie where there's a running scene where it's really, mountains are falling from the sky, everything's getting crazy. And you kind of then, you can choose that as a challenge, like the Max challenge. And it's, what do you think about that?
So you're a smart man. You're thinking ahead. So one of the things that, we haven't fully announced yet, and again, dropping some alpha. And I got to make it clear, this is not for the blockchain game. This is more like Web 2.
Okay.
For our Web 2 Zombies run, we actually signed Marvel to a deal. So you can run to a story of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange or, so like awesome. Signing more franchises and IPs and having different stories that you like or, it's definitely on the roadmap.
Nice, man. It just occurred to me like it'd be very cool. I think of it more as like extra content, like unlockable stuff, like that would be super cool. Anyway, I'll keep my ideas to myself from now on, Keith. I'm sure you guys have enough to do over there. So we're getting to the end of the session. So I just want to give you the opportunity, Keith, is there anything that I haven't asked or that we haven't spoken about today about Dustland that you want to get off your chest? Tell the community, those listening on the YouTube video later, hit them with some details. Where can they find out about things about Dustland? Hit them with all the vital stuff.
Yeah, no, happy to do so. So I'd encourage everyone here to check out Dustland Runner. The website is called thedustland.com, and on there you can download the app for free and start experiencing our game. Dustland is the game, and then our token is Doge Token, DOSE, dogetoken.com. You can find out more about our token. And I just want to remind everyone that we have a NFT sale going on June 20th. I think all our NFTs have sold out so far and done performed really well. So check out our NFT sale of our Sandbox and Gym Aesthetics drop on the June 20th. That's it.
Nice, man. And where can people where are the best places to kind of get in touch with you guys or find out this kind of alpha information? Is it Twitter? Is it Discord? Where's your favorite place?
So good, Ian. So good. I almost forgot. So Twitter is the place. So you want to look for the Dustland on Twitter, and also Twitter Doge Token, DOSE token. And from there, you're going to find our Discord links on our websites and our NFT and all the alpha there. So please follow us on Twitter and join our Discord.
Awesome, man. All right, cool. So we got the top line vision, we got the nuts and bolts, and I think everybody has definitely come to understand what Dustland is all about today. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. And I just want to say thank you to you, Keith. You've been a wicked guest today, and your answers have been great, articulated perfectly, and you've done your project proud, my man. So good work. You even nailed that. You're the only one who's done that elevator pitch in under 60 seconds, I would like to add, in the last 6 months. So you win a little award here.
Well, I gotta say, all the hosts, you have the most interesting voice, and this has been the most fun. You should really have a radio show, Sirius FM or something. I don't know.
SeriousCrypto.fm. Well, this is
Yeah.
but thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. No, I find these things very fun because for me, I look at these projects like Dustland all the time. You know, I'm looking at raw data, metrics. So to peel back the layers of what's going on behind that for me is fascinating. And I find it super interesting, especially to talk to people like yourself, because yeah, I think it's important to understand who's behind these projects, the humans that are into it. So yeah, good work today, man. You've done a great job, Keith. I want to thank you again for your time. I know you're busy. So I would love to have you back on the show again in a future date, perhaps in another 6 to 8 months when Dustland is fired off to the moon and we've got some more things to talk about. So again, thanks for your time, man. And thank you to everybody for tuning in today. It's been cool. And I wish you an amazing Tuesday and the rest of your week. Back here tomorrow on Discord with myself. I've got the guys from Upland, Play to Earn Game. And then on Thursday, we've got Boris, who's going to be talking about traditional markets comparatively to crypto markets, which is pretty interesting, actually, because there's a lot of similarities. So yeah, he's going to be diving into that. So thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you again, Keith. And I will see you all later.